Paulo just mentioned, it's Tuesday, and that means another edition of Table Talk. This morning, as we continue to hit the road covering all 12 coastal Bend counties that we serve, we find ourselves in Kenedy County, where we faced a challenge we haven't seen before. But hey, that didn't stop us from filling our promise to you to come to your county to find the issues most important to you. Take a look.
If you're looking for the hustle and bustle of a big city, then you're not going to find it in Kenedy County.
I love it here. It's nice and quiet.
The only business is the Kenedy Ranch, and that means for the 400 or so people who live in this entire county, most of them here in Sarita, they're forced to go to other counties for whatever they need.
A lot of traveling, a lot of miles on our cars.
So with no restaurant for Table Talk, we decided to go to the busiest place we could find. Turns out, that was the post office, and that's where we first met Norma Alaniz. On the outside, Norma seemed perfectly fine, but when she began opening up to us, she told us about her family, including stepdaughter Lisa, and all about her deteriorating health.
And she has to go through a lot.
The 30-something is on dialysis, and that means the couple must travel to Corpus Christi constantly so Lisa can see her doctors.
How painful is it for you and your husband to see this happening?
Very painful.
All this while doing their best to ensure Lisa doesn't contract the coronavirus.
We're trying to keep her safe from that.
That's exactly what Mario Castillo is doing for his family.
Right now we don't go nowhere unless we have to,
His daughter, an elementary school teacher in nearby Kingsville, and that had Mario worried she'd get infected at school.
Were you concerned she might bring the virus back to the family?
Well, yes. But, she's one of the persons that, she knows what's right and what's wrong,
Eventually, she tested positive, though in the end, she recovered. These days, she's teaching from home. All the while, it's Mario's faith that keeps him going.
Praying. That's the first thing I do in the morning.
But even in one of the least populated counties, not only in Texas, but also in the entire country, some, like 74-year-old Bill Lothrop, seem to be taking the pandemic a day at a time.
They say older people are more likely to get it. Does that concern you?
Not especially. Everybody's got their own time.
And despite the significantly small population, many people here use masks and practice social distancing.
It sounds like y'all take this very seriously down here.
Well, I guess you have to.
The pandemic keeping Bill and countless others cooped up at home, even more isolated, he says, than before the pandemic. It's a common thread, he says, that connects so many of us.
I have to admit that there's a general little oppression that comes from the whole thing that everybody shares.
Norma shares in that oppression, and while doing whatever she can to keep her family COVID-free, she's doing her best to help her stepdaughter, praying, and also just being there for her.
Do you believe things will get better?
Yes, I believe God will help her.
Holding on to hope that Lisa will get better and that officials will get the coronavirus under control.
Just goes to show that coronavirus isn't the only health issue people are dealing with. Now, I have yet to go to Everett County. Send me out there on the road. I'm willing to go. Duval, Bee, Jim Hogg, just to name a few counties I haven't been to yet. So, the question, where should I go next? Head on over to my social media pages, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, either The Real Paul Mueller or Real Paul Mueller.